This video is your Dragon of Icespire Peak DM guide for the Circle of Thunder quest from the D&D Essentials Kit. Hi, Bob here, and welcome to Bob World Builder, the D&D channel where we improve our games together. For Dragon of Icespire Peak gameplay, check the cards and description for a link to my session. This video is sponsored by the Spheres of Power and Might Kickstarter by Drop Dead Studios. Originally designed as an alternate magic and martial system for Pathfinder 1E, the NE-nominated supplements have been through years of fine-tuning and are now being converted for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Using thematic collections of adjustable abilities, Spheres of Power and Might allow you to build characters based on your own creative concepts rather than predefined spells and features. The Spheres 5e Kickstarter reached its goal on day 1 and has since doubled it. So to learn more about Spheres of Power and Might, check out my video on alternative magic systems in the card above, or head right to the Kickstarter through the link in the description. Circle of Thunder is one of several side quest locations in the Dragon of Icespire Peak that are not included on the Phandalin job board, so you'll have to find another way to draw your party to this location. They could overhear a rumor in town, learn about it from Falcon the Hunter, who would definitely know about this eerie ritual site near his lodge, or interrogate any of the half-orc anchorites encountered during their adventures. Circle of Thunder is balanced for 6th-level characters, so you don't want your junior adventurers to hear about it too early. And as written, the party can be led here by Xanth the Centaur from the Dragon Barrow quest, Granix's Map in the Woodland Manse quest, or by tracking Gorthok after the raid on Falcon's Lodge. Because there's no set starting point, and navigating Neverwinter Wood can be a little tricky, travel time to the Circle of Thunder could be anywhere from a few hours to several days. Yet, the book includes 2 set-piece encounters that your party is meant to have on their journey through the forest. The first is Tree Trap. You come upon a 60-foot wide forest clearing, in the middle of which is a black, needle-like spire, a 40-foot tall pine tree ravaged by fire long ago, its limbs burned off. Tied to the dead tree near its base are several ghastly dolls made of twigs, bound with black hair. For an awesome setup, the actual trap is very weird. Inside the bundle of dolls is a living pig heart that, if damaged, triggers the tree to attack. All creatures in the clearing must immediately make a DC 12 Dex saving throw to avoid the restraining roots of the tree, and they can be freed with a DC 15 athletics check or by dealing 5 slashing damage to the roots, which have an AC of 13. Oh yeah, and they're immune to all damage types besides slashing. Here are my suggestions. Instead of roots, you could have Onkegs appear, just like in the Logger's Camp quest, lured by the cursed dolls. 1 Onkeg per PC, not including sidekicks, if anyone steps 30 feet into the clearing. But if the PCs learn from their experience and destroyed the dolls from a distance, the Onkegs disperse. Another switch is to have these stick figure dolls be replicas of the PCs if they haven't already fought their doubles in the Woodland Manse quest. Or replace the dolls, the weird pig heart, and this pine tree with the Hangman tree from Amarun's Almanac Volume 1. This creature also has multiple vines to restrain PCs and a mouth to eat them. It's a pretty high CR, so I reduced its HP and AC and gave it only 2 tendrils that did fewer damage. And I decided it could only hold 1 PC in its mouth instead of 3. For more details on this creature, check the card in the description for a link to my review of Amarun's Almanac, available on DM's Guild. Finally, if you keep this encounter more or less as intended, I recommend making the roots resistant to non-magical bludgeoning and piercing damage, but all other damage works as usual. And give the tree a total of 50 hit points, depleted by attacking the tree itself or the roots, which continue to regenerate 1 round after being destroyed. The second included travel encounter is Yargath's Patrol. As you make your way across uneven ground rising to a ridge, several hulking orcs ascend a similar ridge across from you, separated from you by a 60-foot wide, 10-foot deep gully. The orcs unleash a terrible battle cry as they are joined by a humanoid with elongated claws. With 2 orcs per party member and 1 anchorite, this is a hard encounter even for a level 6 party. Fortunately, your party stands to gain a greater healing potion if Yargath, the anchorite, is defeated. Now, your level 6 wizard or any character in your party who has picked up the necklace of fireballs along the way could take out most of these orcs on their way across the gully. But that's okay. This is a side encounter of a side quest, so it doesn't have to be that tough. But to make it more interesting, I recommend including this encounter at night, where the orcs can be wandering around your camp, creating animal calls and rustling bushes to try to distract and confuse your party, then spring upon them all at once. And if your party hasn't encountered any vine or needle blights yet, they would make a great addition to either of these 2 encounters, or a fine one on their own. The Circle of Thunder itself includes 1 primary area and 3 tiny dungeons. These little caves, areas C2, 3, and 4, are the homes of Yargath and 2 other anchorites, Flens and Nerux. With different arrangements, they contain the same 4 rooms. A hillside entryway with an ominous warning of bones, no religion check necessary. A pen containing the respective anchorite's pet boar, though I would replace at least one of these boars with one of Big Al's pigs from Butterskull Ranch. Another pen that may contain an imprisoned deer doomed to be sacrificed, and if you really want these guys to be evil, replace the deer with a captured human from the ranch, the logging camp, or Phandalin. The anchorite's private quarters complete with hidden treasure, and a secret hatch which for once is not visible on the player map. The loot in these rooms are a potion of invulnerability, a +1 shield, and presumably Yargath's potion of greater healing if the characters don't defeat him sooner. Unlike a few other treasure hoards in the Dragon of Icespire Peak, where you can pretty much plug in any old loot you want your party to have, these zealous druids really only keep items that they find incredibly meaningful or incredibly useful. And I have 1 solid addition to this quest's loot that we're going to cover in just a minute. The main area is the henge. Ominous storm clouds gather in the sky as you approach a 90-foot tall hill with trees spreading across its slopes. Atop the hill is a large ring of standing stones. 2 ghastly figures dance within this henge, surrounded by a number of smaller, capering creatures. These figures are the half-orcs, Flens, and Nerux, and lots of twig blights, 2 for every character, including sidekicks. The anchorites are summoning Gorthok the Thunderboar, and this dangerous entity is written to appear when they're killed, but I suggest rolling a d4 timer in the open to announce the number of rounds that will pass until Gorthok appears. This creates great dramatic tension, and you can decide whether or not Gorthok will actually appear if the ritual is disrupted. Plus, you can take an idea from Sly Flourish and describe the timer in-game as lightning striking more and more of the standing stones. Again, if you really want to present these anchorites as evil, they can be in the midst of a human sacrifice necessary to complete the summoning. And for an awesome thematic touch, include some terrain effects like layer actions, especially if Gorthok is not summoned. I recommend just using Gorthok's lightning bolt attack, but coming from the black, circling storm clouds above the henge, and describing the targeted character feeling small static shocks, and their hair slowly rising to stand on end before calling the dexterity save to dodge the lightning. And as promised, however this battle ends, the storm god Talos should reward your champions with the Staff of Thunder and Lightning. This very rare enchanted staff requires attunement, and each of its 5 features can be used once per day. It can be used to add lightning damage or stun your target when you hit with a melee attack, and to cast more powerful versions of the lightning bolt and thunderclap spells. This item is quite powerful, but note that the thunderclap abilities will likely lead to some friendly fire as they affect all creatures within their radius. But if it just doesn't seem like the right fit for your game, I'm sure Talos can come up with a good reason to take back their great boon. Now check out my video on alternative magic systems to learn more about the Spheres of Power Kickstarter happening right now. And if you're a fan of the channel, but you're part of the 70% of regular viewers who haven't yet subscribed, please do. It will help more people who are interested in the Dragon or Icespire Peak find these videos. So thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing. Thank you for watching, and keep building.